Today I am bringing you the reveal of my entryway, and I'm going to be decorating it with you alongside me. I have completed a bunch of DIYs in this entryway. This started out as I redid my stairs. There was builder grade carpet on here. I ripped that up. I had my contractor rip it up and replaced it with a stone wood composite flooring, which is completely waterproof, which I love and looks a lot like oak, wide planked oak. And then I added picture frame molding with chair rail all the way up the wall to the second floor, and it does continue all the way around my hallway on the second floor, which I will be bringing to you in a completely separate video. I also added in sconce alabaster lighting, I added in artwork, I added in a mirror, I added in a antique vintage light fixture. I replaced all of the wall plates for the outlets and the light switches with a brass wall plate cover. I added in a vintage piece that I repurposed and brought back to life to its original sort of like raw form. I added in this shelf here, this functional shelf, and some decor. So it's been quite the journey. It definitely took from start to finish, a year and a half for everything to be completed to my liking. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've decorated the space with, again, a mix of vintage and modern decor, some thrifted, and I will be walking you through the items I've chosen for my space. So if that sounds good to you, then please just keep on watching.
Really quickly, I wanted to touch on the fluted wainscoting that I created on this wall here. I've seen it used before. I used it to cover up a DIY. Like you can see the mudding on the wall is really bad, and because lime wash you can't just paint over, I decided to cut up some fluted wood casing from Lowe's, and I literally just cut it to size, measured the box width and length, and voila, I added it to the wall with some brad nails, and that's it. I created this really beautiful wainscoting look, and that adds some extra texture and sort of creates like this accent wall for the entryway and makes it its own defined space. So this is how the picture frame molding turned out. In the last video you just saw me sort of the process of putting it on the wall and lime washing it, and these are all of the artwork that I chose. I'm not going to show you the second floor because that is for a separate video, but I also changed out all of the wall plate covers and added this alabaster sconce from CB2, which I believe is still available. If it is, I will link it down below. But yeah, this is how the fluted wainscoting turned out. I also whitewashed this with some gel stain to make it look, again, more like a white oak because it comes with some orangey undertones. And then this is the opposite end of the hallway, the picture frame molding with the lime wash, and I have these rechargeable battery operated sconces that I got off of Amazon. I DIY'd those lampshades out of a vintage fabric that I also got on Amazon. All of that is linked in my Amazon storefront, so be sure to check that out. These light bulbs are really cool. You just plug them in and they have different settings, like you can go cool or warm. Every light in my house is on a warm setting, so I keep them on warm, but they're also on a dimmer. And they can stay on for about like 30 hours before you have to recharge them again, which is incredible. And they screw into any socket, so no more having to do that puck light trick. I highly recommend these sconces. And then this is a black jute rug runner that I got off of Rugs USA, which I will also link down below. But I was just finding it really hard to find a rug. This is such a high traffic area for us. We walk back and forth over this, traipse on it. My dog traipses on it all day. So the black jute just hides all of the mess and is super durable. And then this is the other side of the hallway. I added this brass round mirror, which I will link down below. I believe I got that off of Amazon. It does swivel up and down. And of course that wood shade I also got, which I will link down below. You pull on it to make it go up and down, which is great. It's super easy to use and kind of fun, but it just adds some privacy because this is the first floor. And I love the way that the picture frame molding turned out on this wall as well. And that is the vintage chest that I stripped and stained and polyurethaned just to look raw and a lighter color wood. It came with an orangey sort of older stain on it. So to style up this console, it is holding a lot of our stuff. It is a hard-working piece. I just put some of my favorite decorating interior design books there. That is one that I thrifted from Goodwill. The one below that is Timeless Interiors and Renovations. And then this is Colin King's Arranging Things, which is a beautiful book to both look at and also just looks really pretty. And I sort of stacked them in order of size, so it tapers. And then on top of these books, I did add a vase that I got. It is a Zentique vase that is also an Amazon find, and some beautiful peonies from Trader Joe's. These have been really hardworking and lasted a very long time, and I love the way they bloomed. Next up is this travertine bowl that I actually found on TJ Maxx for $30. If it is still available, I will be sure to link it down below. But I do see similar things on Amazon, so even if it's not the exact bowl, I will link a similar find. But I love the texture, and it really plays into the color palette of this room. These were a find at the Rose Bowl Flea Market. I don't typically like mid-century modern, but I loved the texture and the detail on these. These are solid brass. They have started to sort of patina and turn. And of course, that can also be taken off with Brasso, but I like the patina, so I'm not touching them. And then I just added in some tapered candles that I have burned a bit. But I just like the twisted look of them. Those are from Hobby Lobby. And the color story, the texture story, the material story, the ceramic, the stone, the brass, the primitive woods, they all play together to help it look cohesive. And even though it's neutral, it is not boring because I am getting very good at mixing textures and materials together to create interest. And this is it. This is the look for the Entryway console. That bowl is a hard-working bowl. It holds mail and things from time to time, keys and all of that. And then on the wall with the fluted wainscoting, I did make sure I measured because I had this art piece that I actually got from Home Goods. And again, it plays into the color story that I have throughout my home. I think it's very important to not neglect your entryway and to make it sure that you put the same effort into your entryway that you put into your living room, which is a space you probably entertain heavily in, or your kitchen, because it's the first thing people see when they walk into the house and it sets the tone for your whole home. So you want to try and call back the same materials and textures and colors in your entryway as you do in those other hardworking spaces in your home that you've put so much time and attention into. And you'll see similar art pieces and materials used in my living room and in my kitchen as you do in the entryway here. Such as this primitive Chinese elmwood stool, which I did pick up from a local vintage store here called Big Daddy's Antiques. I do have a smaller version of this stool, which is just a round Chinese elmwood stool in my kitchen. Again, they speak to each other. And this is a vintage Chinese, I believe it's called a water pot. And I got those locally as well. These are things that I've collected over time. I certainly did not go out and buy these things. I think these are both purchased about a year, maybe a year and a half apart. They are pricey, but they are items I'll have for the rest of my life. And this is a art piece that I printed and put in a thrifted frame, maybe vintage, a thrifted frame that I got from my local thrift store. that thing is so heavy. I got it for $6 and it's beautifully carved and I love the gold. And I just had that, I bought that print on Etsy and I loved the painting and had it blown up for under $25. And then I just put it in the frame myself. But honestly, you would never know. And I love the way that the sconces flank it and light it. It's just another alternative to having a picture light. But I think it creates a lot of balance and interest. And then for decorating, the rail here that I use to hang things on, I just got that basket from Target, that woven basket from Target, which I don't know if it's still available, but if not, I'll link something similar. And these cherry blossoms, they're faux cherry blossoms. Those are from Etsy. I did use those in my office bathroom makeover video. And then just functional things. This is an umbrella and my dog's leash and collar. If you have a dog, I actually will link this collar and leash down below. I just purchased these on Amazon and they're super high quality and super affordable. Hers was falling apart. So this is a small mini Turkish vase that I got from Olive Atelier, and that is a Hearth and Hand door stopper with a leather handle. Again, it plays into the color story, so I try to use function and beauty with every single thing, even if it is a door stopper, and that looks like a decorative piece, but I literally use it to keep the door open when I lug things in and out of the garage all the time, so it all goes together, and I have no problem looking at it sitting up on that shelf. And that's it for the entryway, you guys. Pretty simple. Everything in here is both beautiful and functional. That bench gets used a lot for packages or sitting on. The bowl, the console, everything gets used, and I'm really happy with the balance that I have struck, again, with usefulness and beauty and function. Beauty and function are working really, really well in this entryway.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I do a lot of DIYs and makeovers and decorate with me's and shop with me's and things on this channel. Also, please be sure to check the description box down below. I always post, if I can, a lot of this stuff is vintage again. Or even antique, but if it is something that I can post, I will post something that is similar so you too can find it. You can also follow me over on LTK, which is also linked down below, and my Amazon storefront linked down below, where it's just an easier format to shop from. Check that description box if you see things you like. The next thing I have coming your way is a video, a makeover, a room makeover in a home that is not mine. It is actually my castmates from the TV show I act on called Run the World and Star in. Which is why this video is late. It's because I've been doing PR for season 2 release, but my castmate Amber Stevens West asked me to make over her guest bedroom, so that will be coming to you guys in the next video. That will be a 2-part series. We go vintage shopping together, and also I make over the room. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button and like button, and yeah, you guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.